Today, Italy's highest criminal court has overturned the acquittal of Amanda Knox in the 2007 murder of her British roommate and ordered a retrial. The Court of Cassation ruled that an appeals court in Florence must rehear the case against Knox and her Italian ex-boyfriend Raffaele Sollecito for the slaying of British exchange student Meredith Kercher. Kercher, 21 years old at the time, was killed in the home she shared with Knox and other roommates in Perugia, Italy. Now, Knox is a student at the University of Washington in Seattle now and was initially convicted and sentenced to 25 years in prison, but the ruling was overturned on appeal in 2011 and she was released from prison. This case really has become a worldwide sensation, and I'm not necessarily familiar with the implications of an acquittal being overturned. What does that mean exactly?
Well, unfortunately, unlike the U.S., in the U.S. we have double jeopardy. So if you've been acquitted, you can never be tried again. It's game over. In Italy, they don't have that. They do not have double jeopardy. So a court is able to look at the evidence and overturn a lower court decision. What's happened here is the court essentially said that it is overturning the decision, and it's going to, in 60 days, render an opinion as to why it overturned that decision. Amanda Knox and her counsel will then have 45 days thereafter to put forth whatever they want to put forth before the court to tell the court that it should not allow for a trial, but it looks very much like there will be a retrial of Amanda Knox.
So will she go to Italy? I mean, will she be extradited? I hear that it can go on without her attending.
It can. It can go on what's called in absentia, meaning it can go on without her even being there. Her counsel has indicated that she will actually participate and she will do whatever the authorities are asking her to do. The question really is, and there is an extradition treaty between Italy and the U.S., so Italy can ask the U.S. to have her actually deliver her to the courts. The question is really whether the U.S. is going to do so. The U.S. has on some occasions, has not on other. And the U.S., because we believe in double jeopardy, may very well say she's been tried, the appeal came down, she was acquitted, it's game over. Or they may not. It really will hinge on whether the U.S. believes that she should be extradited to Italy.
And Zach, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, certainly a case that many people were talking about, and today is perhaps all the more perplexing.
Well, I think the extradition question is a lot more interesting than any of the sort of facts surrounding the actual case. She has been in court a couple of times now. I think people who have followed the case are familiar with the evidence, and I think it's interesting that the U.S. sometimes chooses to enforce its sort of international obligations, and other times chooses not to. Oftentimes on principle. There are a lot of things the U.S. could choose not to enforce in international law, in international relations. We don't always do. And I think it's kind of a thorny question whether or not a person should be subjected to the legal norms of the country in which they were accused of an offense, if those legal norms conflict with those in the United States. I think that's actually a really, really difficult question for the government to answer, and one that has a lot of implications beyond murder trials. It could have implications for how we conduct trade treaties and trade policy, things like that. So I think what the government decides to do with Amanda Knox here, whether they deem it necessary to extradite her to Italy or not, will be the more interesting legal, I think, question to me.